Welcome back, my beautiful Virgos. If you're new to the channel, my name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for Virgo, the most bestest sign that there is. I'm a little bit impartial because I am a Virgo. Now, know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. So if you're tapped into someone or someone's tapped into you, the message might resonate more from either or. So again, always interpret the message as it best resonates, especially on my channel, because I like to look not just at what's going on the surface. We look at the shadows. We look and see how they play out as karmic themes so you can heal, so you can shape shift your reality and quantum jump into the reality that you want. Because a lot of times when you are in a connection with someone, it's part of your soul family. We a lot of times wouldn't even date a person, never mind be in a long-term relationship with someone, unless there was this instantaneous spiritual connection and a lot of chemistry, obviously, because a spiritual connection is one that's going to trigger the shit out of you. And the reason why is because it's a relationship that was orchestrated by the universe to help you heal and evolve into your best self. Now you might be like, well, I'm not getting my best self. I'm flipping out. I'm getting triggered. This person pisses me off. This person creates a lot of turbulent emotions inside of me. Well, it's creating awareness. And no one should be able to make you feel that way. If someone's able to make you feel that way, it means that you have a spiritual block inside of you. And you had that block way before that person came into your life. We attract people and situations to us to make us aware of what we need to heal. Now, if you're new to my channel, you have to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word, the word from my Psychic Soul Healer deck in your comment bar if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me. It's always the word that starts my reading off anyway. It's the underlining energy that is dictating why someone's behaviorisms are what they are, why your beliefs are what they are, and why the dynamic of your situation is playing out. All right. Now, without further ado, again, give this video a like. Comment the word naturalist in your comment bar. And obviously subscribe to the channel, because how will you know whether or not I chose you or not? You won't know unless you subscribed, because you'll get alerted and you'll know if I chose you, if I wrote the word winner underneath your comment. If I did, we'll just correspond a little bit back on YouTube. But if you really want to make sure that you get your link the day of your reading, you should email me. Email me at pureenergyhealer70@gmail.com. This way you get the link the day of your reading, and you don't need to say, oh, I don't know how I'm going to get on. A lot of people that win the reading, they wind up never getting on because they can't find the link, or they say that they can't find the link. So I don't know. So I've made it a lot easier where people have emailed me, and that's been working out a lot better. So you just take a second to look at the word naturalist. Obviously, the word naturalist it's again something that feels natural. It's again, it's automatic. It's familiar. And I feel like someone, even though that they're angry with you and you're in separation from them, they feel like, well, I can't deny that the connection is it feels natural to me. And they don't normally feel that anything is natural to them. And the reason why is because they have a lot of spiritual blocks. You know that they have spiritual blocks because I feel like this person drinks a lot. I feel like they get themselves in trouble. I feel like they sabotage themselves a lot. They get in their own way. They don't mean to do this. But when a person has spiritual blocks, it's because of their inner child wounds a lot of times. So they grew up in a family or an environment that was a little bit rough, and then they had to fend for their own and figure it out on their own. And they got bad manifestations, mainly because of the way that they are. So they feel that there's something inadequate with them, but they don't feel that when they're with you. So that's what's natural. However, it's also natural for this person to get triggered all the time. It's natural for them to be able to trigger who they're with all the time too, because they get in their own way. So there's this whole paradox of energy that's going on. And a paradox of energy is obviously the opposite, right? Paradoxical energy. And so it's this person normally winds up in codependent relationships where they give I don't want to say little, but it's almost like little because on an emotional level they can't give. They would be more likely come in and fix your car or fix your home or do something to help you more than show their vulnerability, which is why they don't have good relationships. So, like I said, there is this paradoxical energy where there's this really beautiful side of them that feels natural to you. That's the spirit part of self. That's the God part of self. But then there's this dust part of self, which is the ego part of self, which is who we pretend to perceive that we are based on the situations that we've lived. This person has lived hard experiences. So they don't really like know how to navigate life successfully that way. Their life tends to look like a roller coaster. They have good times where life is good, and then they get in their own way. They sabotage themselves. They got to start over. So they don't feel good about themselves because they have a bad reputation from other people. So they move a lot. They do things to try to change the outside of them. And I feel as if this person now sees that you see them, this other side of them. So again, when you first met them, you might have just felt that spark and thought that they were perfect, and vice versa, because there's a lot of chemistry and attraction. However, all the bullshit that went on, there's hard feelings. And that's where again, this person now has created a paradox within your connection, where it's like you want them, but you also don't. And so we have to start off by looking at the shadows, but then we're going to look at the hidden truths. We're going to look and see what is actually going to happen within your relationship and how to balance out the connection if you can. Sometimes the way that you balance out a connection is you have to leave, and you have to learn the spiritual lesson of why you attracted this person into your life. Otherwise, you can't feel better. You'll always feel stuck. Learning to heal means to integrate the spiritual lesson so you see a different version of yourself and your situation. And to see a different version of yourself is actually not to just see it, but to actually embody it and live it. Because when you embody something, you're actually embodying the feeling, so you can become a magnet of what you want to come into your life. And also, then it's the way you unconsciously, spiritually command what you want in your life, as well as how you want what comes into your life to treat you. Otherwise you don't know. Otherwise you can't heal yourself. It's because it's all subconscious. You're rewiring your brain. You are actually reconditioning your habits and your behaviorisms because you rewired your brain. And that is actually a natural process because God made us to be able to heal our bodies and minds. We're self-healing organisms. But we have to know what to do to heal. All right. I know. Be quiet. Crushed. So this person is not in a happy state. So I feel like you walked away from this person. And that's why, like I said, I feel like you're in separation. They feel crushed, and they were not expecting to feel this emotion at all because they don't feel emotions. They feel like there's something a little bit off with them, at least in relationship wise. ending. Yeah, because they're crushed because you ended it. You were like, I'm tired of the in out. I'm tired of the breadcrumbing. I'm tired of you lying. I'm tired of you trying to like elevate yourself and keep me in a place of limitation. And they do this because after they sabotage themselves, then they want to walk around with this big ego, which is what people tend to do when they feel shame. It's not comfortable to feel shame. So people then form a persona. Your person formed a persona and acted arrogant to overcompensate for that. So this is how they're prancing around right now. Dramatic, like acting all dramatic. They were acting like as if you're dramatic, as if you didn't have a right to defend yourself, as if you didn't have a right to set boundaries, as if everything's being done to them, which again, projection is what happens when a person has a spiritual wound and they don't want to look at it. They don't want to look at it. And there is feelings between you and them. So what you say does have the power to affect them. However, they're not going to show that on the outside, but on the inside, they're going to be all like mad and triggered. So if you're trying to tap into them, or you are a soulmate, twin flame connection, or this past life connection, any type of real soul connection, and you're tapped into them, then they're tapped into you. That's that energetic cord. It's ESP through the heart and mind that we have with our soulmates. It transcends many lifetimes. That's how you recognize this person in this lifetime. That's why this connection feels natural to both of you, even though it's fucked up. You look at it and you're like, this is not what I want. But I love this person. How is this? Like, and so it's almost like it gets to the point where the relationship itself is dramatic. So these people also, people that have the same imbalance as your person, need to create the drama within their relationship because there's a sense of inadequacy. So when things are calm, when things are relaxed, they're always looking for like the shoe to drop. So what they do is they create the shoe to drop. This is how they get in their own way. They self-sabotage the connection, but they need that drama because there's a sense of, unless you're chasing them, unless you're really showing them how much you care because they can't express themselves, well, then the relationship then stays stagnant and then everyone gets bored because they have to actually put in effort, not effort like this. However, you walking away now has made this person look at their actions and they feel like an ass. They feel like an all-time high ass. That's what I'm feeling. Again, yeah, because they acted like flighty, and they see that you are not flighty. Virgos are not flighty. We are grounded in the here and now. We're in the present moment. It's like we are manifestors. We're very logical and analytical, but we're also intuitive because we're fair. Doesn't mean that like we're overly emotional. What it means as if at the end of the day we tap into the logical and the analytical, but we have a nice balance where your person is always coming from a survival perspective, which is a very logical and analytical way, but you can't handle your relationships that way, especially if you have a lot of psychological trauma from relationships. It's not going to work because you're always looking for the shoe to drop. And after a while, you just say, fuck it and get in your own way. And usually fall into some addictive type behavior, whether it's over drinking, because no one can feel like they don't like themselves. However, they do feel natural with you, which is the whole bizarre thing. Again, adrift. This is what I'm saying, where they acted flighty, adrift. Again, I do have feelings, and on an ESP level and on a soul level, you could feel this. However, like the actions were always like, there's nothing here. Like as soon as we get it off the ground, you get in your own way. You do something. And then it makes me crazy. But that's the drama. That's like, it's like now that all I really needed to know is that you love me. And see that now that I see that you love me, I can go over here and talk to whoever or do whatever, but none of that means anything to me. You're the one that means something to me. So what you're seeing is that this person has a real psychological reversal. What they do is they get in their own way, they sabotage good connections, love. They're not feeling as if they're deserving of love because they hold on to shame. Now, they're not walking around saying, I feel shameful, I feel shameful. No one does that. What what how you know a person has shame is because of not just the words that they use, their posture, and other things that you can pick up through your senses, but actually by what they do, their character, their behaviorisms are stemmed from that. So there's only two energies, love and fear. So we have to always look at people that need to heal, like from a place of compassion through love, where this person gets in their own way and they have bad relationships because they've had a bad relationship. So to deal with them in a very emotional way is not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to get you anywhere. And if anything, it's going to frustrate you even more to the place that you might not even want to talk to this person anymore. You have to heal the connection through being compassionate, through love, forgiveness. Now, that doesn't mean taking them back. You need to learn why you've attracted this person into your life. But before we find out why you attracted this person into your life by looking at your inner child wounds, we're going to look at the hidden truths because, well, even though this person did a lot of fucked up shit, we want to know whether or not, what is their true intention? Is their true intention really to be an asshole? Because it could be, where there is not that they intentionally, but they might not know what they want. And if they don't know what they want, and then you have this behavior, well, then that's a complete disrespect. And then you have to cut the cord completely. And if they don't mean to do it consciously, you still need to back away a lot and have very rigid boundaries, but you have to give a little bit if you want to try to heal the connection. And I'm being realistic because a lot of times soul relationships, it's not a yes or no. Your heart and your mind are fighting. I just said that you're hold on to a cognitive dissonance. It's a paradoxical energy. It's like, I'm fucked if I do, I'm fucked if I don't. That's what it feels like. It's like, because I like this person, I have feelings for this person, I'm connected to this person feels natural to me, but I'm miserable because of what they do. And so we have to say, well, what is their intention first and foremost? Well, let's see. I don't react when people mention you. So still not very emotionally intelligent. It's like, I'm not going to give it anything. I'm not going to give anything. It's like, because I don't want to be vulnerable. So if someone mentions you and I, act stone-faced, well, and that's how this reading started off, which is they feel horrible, but they're walking around like, I don't really care, because it's their ego. They're coming from their ego. Finding out the truth crushed me. Again, more crushed me, which is what they found out is that you are not going to chase them. What they found out is that you're nobody's dummy. What they found out is just because they have this deep soul connection to you and there's so much chemistry that you are not going to react the way that all the other people that have been in their life that have fallen for their trap, which is why they don't have good relationships, which is why they don't like themselves, which is why they feel defective, that you are not going to fall into that trap. They have a distorted sense of what you should do to prove that you care about them. And that's what happens when a person's wounded. The more that you give, it's like an empty well. It's like it never gets filled because we have to fill ourselves up. We fill ourselves up till the energy is overflowing and comes out of the cup. Then whatever's out of the cup is what we're supposed to give to our person. Your person tries to get inside your cup and make it all about them. And then the relationships don't work because they don't want to really do that energy either. And why I say that is a person that always needs drama in their relationship to keep the relationship going is almost like, how could you focus on anything else? Like it's obviously always going to be a codependent relationship. So what crushed them is that you didn't follow them, and that's why they don't want to show any emotion. You didn't chase them. You didn't prove to them how much you care for them by sacrificing yourself, pretty much, which a wounded person thinks this. It doesn't mean that it's logical. It's a spiritual issue. That's why this is a shadow channel, because logically we look at the situation and we're like, why do I like this person? What the fuck? It's like, why, like, what's wrong with me? That's what it feels like. And then spirit says, you have to look at yourself, why you're attracted to this type of person. Again, but we always want to know what the hidden truths are. I love you. Paradoxal, paradoxal, paradoxal. It's again, it's such a like all over the place. I'm gonna pull one more just for shit and giggles. I wish things could be different. And that is more that when you go down deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, first it's like Stonewall, I don't care, I don't care, the ego. But when you dig deep inside that person, there is unconditional love for you because the connection is a spiritual one. So the only thing that we can do with this energy, because this person doesn't want to grow up. And regardless of whether they love you, see, so this would be like a past life karmic relationship, meaning there's tests here. And the test is it doesn't matter that they're a past life karmic mate and there's such an intense chemistry and this person feels natural to you and vice versa. We have to look and see what they're doing. Why? And at the end of the day, if they're not respecting you, which they're not because they're coming from their ego, they care more about what they look like. They don't want to seem vulnerable. They don't want to put themselves out there. And out there would be giving you equal energy, showing you that they care, coming back, apologizing instead of like all this other, like I'm in, I'm out, running around like being a child, like grow up. I think what crushed them is the fact that they look like an asshole. I think that you crushed their ego. That's what I think. And if they came back, there would be a sense that you won. And that's this person is always like a one-up you type person. Like I'm like looks at relationships almost like competition a little bit. Like when a person is wounded, they love, but then some of the things that they do are so out of alignment with love. And that's what we see here with this person. Okay, disassociated. So you two grew up in an environment where you disassociated from yourself. Trauma creates that. So you might have grown up with a parent that was like this, that they loved you because they were your parent, but they did mean things. They treated you badly. And so they could not have given you emotionally what you needed. And that could be because they were too involved in their own relationships, bothersome relationships. Codependency is when we grow up in an environment where our parents are reliant on each other because maybe one can't financially do it on their own, or the other person emotionally never gets anything and is always the one that's giving. So it's where you witnessed like your parents having this type of relationship and then you didn't get what you needed because your parent was so stressed out and in a bad mood because of the lack of nurturing that they got from their connection, because they were in a connection that was very similar to the connection that you're in with this person. The only difference is that you see the connection and you're like, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there. And you are breaking that karmic contract, karmic cycle, karmic loop, however you want to call it. And I call it a karmic contract after a while when we keep dating people that don't give us what we need because we grew up in that trauma. And when that eventually happens, when we don't learn that we just go to one relationship and then create the same type of scenario, over time we wind up in a karmic contract. That's when you see someone bound to someone else, where they're like, I don't, like, I'm really reliant. This person owns me. And they might own because they have all the money, or they have all the resources. So now that person can't leave. A lot of times that is what you see in a codependent relationship. You're witnessing like people that really aren't happy. So love becomes very confusing. And then the nurturing that you needed, like as I said, which you didn't get, is confusing on top of it. So then you're coming from a place of lack. And just lack because the perceived environment didn't show you what you felt they should have. And because the child self always believes that parents are supposed to be perfect and that they're supposed to, display love perfectly. So when a parent is angry all the time and is having issues in their relationship and issues within life, what winds up happening is a child feels as if they're a bother. They feel as if they're an inconvenience. And so they detach, they disassociate from that. And so you attracted a person into your life that's actually disassociated. But because you also have to heal, and what heals that, we're going to see. Well, I'll tell you what heals it without even pulling. And it's really finding yourself. It's really like investing in yourself. Codependent relationships are that you perceive yourself through a very limited perception, and that you don't know yourself, because where there are shadows, there's potential that hasn't been developed. There's parts of your identity that haven't been developed, because you're an energy being. Just because you might hold on to shame or guilt or trauma, you can't just get rid of that energy. That energy is part of you. And the only way to really get rid of it is you have to integrate the spiritual lesson, meaning learn, see a different version of yourself, see a different version of the situation. So you might be like, how can I possibly see a different version of this shit? Well, you might see a different version of yourself, like where you heal yourself. And then when you confronted with this person again, you handle them differently. So you see a different version. Or you might see this person again and they might not have that same energetic emotional hold, because once you learn the spiritual lesson, you kind of break that karmic, they call it a curse, but it's like that karmic energetic bond where you're like so attracted to this person and want to be with this person and like this person. You see them through a different perception, and then you don't have those same feelings for them anymore. So sometimes that's what happens when you pass a karmic test, and the other times it's you changing makes them change, and then the relationship still needs to be worked out. However, it can be worked out. It's just being worked out through a different way, because you changed, you forced this person to change. So the only way that you can consistently make them change is to hold your boundary and to not care what they do, because this person most likely will throw temper tantrums here and there and try to change. People tend to fall back into their own patterns. But we're going to look and see exactly what you can do to balance out the energy, because this is why you attracted them into your life. And you wouldn't know. Okay, this one fell out. It's action. See? My divine action indicates love and harmony. I am aware of my thoughts and driven by positive forces. I listen to my heart, my desires to manifest light, transform tests into growth. This was a test into growth, challenges into opportunities, and fear into love. So this situation, what I'm feeling is, it's again that you walked away from this person, and really the way that you would heal this situation is that you needed to walk away from this person, because karmically, them being flighty, them being in and out, would, like, they needed to look at their behavior and see that they didn't value you. What you showed this person is, we can be a soulmate, I could have such a strong chemistry for you, but I will not disrespect myself. And that taught this person because they're used to people letting them. That's number one. Number two, action for you, because your divine action, when you put it into yourself, right? I am aware of my thoughts and driven by positive forces. So you're putting the action into yourself. I listen to my heart, my divine, to manifest light, transform, test into growth. So by you putting your energy into yourself and also being aware of your thoughts and your emotions, where you're putting everything, manifest a whole new life for you. And at the end of the day, that's a fear into light, because you see a different version of yourself. Not all the time are we supposed to be with our past life karmic mates. Sometimes they're just strictly here to come into our life to show us that we're not the same person, because in this instance anyway, because you did not handle it the same way that you would normally handle it. So again, the person that you're connected to eats the karma, and it's not meant to really repair the connection at this point, because they're not willing to repair it. We always look at the intention. Person's intention is that they want to heal something, then you could be patient. But if a person is like, I'm not going to show my feelings, I'm not going to mention your name, I'm going to stonewall, I'm going to pretend, then it's like, put the action into yourself. That person's dying on the inside. And that's all that you need to know. I'll talk to you all soon, Virgos. And remember, don't forget to write the word naturalist in your comment bar if you want to win a free reading with me. And I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.